Okay, Shin Mem Tes. We'll only do Aleph today, but it's an important Hagdoma. Says the Mechaber, Din Arba Amos Reshus HaRabbim. So, what is the story if you're in Reshus HaRabbim? How much area do you actually get to carry? So, says the Mechaber, Kol Adam Yeshle Arba Amos Reshus HaRabbim. You actually have a distance of 4 amas in a Reshus HaRabbim sheyochel talta bohem that I can carry in that daled amas. Or moedim loy. How do you measure the 4 amas? Moedim loy ba'amas sheloi. It's subjective. It's dependent on. It's my amos. If I've got a long amma, then it's 4 longer amas. If it's a person who's shorter, then it's a shorter amma. Whatever it may be. Ve'im amos ktana. If he's of, as the Mishnah will explain, is of medium height, but he happens to have very short arms. We don't go subjective over there. We give him the 4 amas of a regular person. Which is considered shisha tvachim. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Kol adam hatam. What is the reason? Why is it that you get 4 amas in a Reshus HaRabbim? Dichsiv shvu ish tachtov. Pasuk says shvu ish tachtov. Each man go back underneath him, literally. V'akavona, and the understanding is yeshivas kol ish b'yom haShabbos yiyeh kashir tachtov, that every single person has the shear of tachtov. What does that mean? Dainu shear Orach kol gufay. The person has the shear of the length of his own body. V'shira Chazal, that Chazal estimated that to be the Orach ha'adam shu shear tachtov hari sholosh amas. That is 3 amas. V'oid amma k'tei lifshet yadav v'raglov, and another amma to sort of stretch out your hands and your legs. And therefore, v'shir zeh yochel adam l'talta chafetzin mikan l'kan. And therefore, a person can carry within that sort of area 4 amas around him. And arba amas, says Mishnah Berurah Cotton Base, mitzum tzomos. V'hainu sheyimdud oisam b'tzimtzum. In other words, it's exactly 4 amas, and it's not a generous measure. V'ayim b'sif base, the arba amas she'amru hein v'al kasoinon. That the 4 amas we measure is including the diagonal. So sometimes it's actually more than 4 amas, because the diagonal is going to be, if you've got a square of 4 by 4, the diagonal is 5.6. Right? Do you remember your math days, your Pythagoras? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So your diagonal is going to be 5.6. So actually, you're going to have a bit more than 4 amas. Okay, but how do you measure the 4 amas? But amas shaloi, your own amma. Dahainu im ho'ish hazehu Orach b'Yosef is very tall. Moedin loy ha'arba amas b'zrua shaloi. You measure the 4 amas according to his amas, his arms. V'nimsa she'arba amas shaloi yegedolim me'arba amas shel shabnei adam, and therefore his daled amas is going to be larger than that of other people. But if you have a person who's amosik katana, says the Mishnah Berurah, Rotzolema shegufay beinani, he's got an average build, kashar kol adam, uzrei shaloi katzara mishabnei adam, and he happens to have very short arms. Ve'im yimdudu arba amas amosav bezrei shaloi yekatzaras lefi tzarech gufay. But if you measure according to his arms, then he's going to give a very small 4 amas, and that's not going to be commensurate with his height. So therefore, you give him the 4 amas of a regular person. That you get the area underneath you, and it won't fit for this person. Therefore, you give him the 4 amas of a regular person. Okay, and then the Mechaber in Aleph finished off and said, "Va'ayin lekaman simen shin tzadivov rotzolema desham ba'hagom avur le'inyan yotzei chus tatchum the arba amas modin meruvaches." There we say that you make a more generous measure of 4 amas. Achein bekan in tiltel arba amas, but here when we're talking about tiltel arba amas b'Reshus HaRabbim, yesh lahachmir dafka mitzum tzomis. We make it stricter that it's exact. It's mitzumtzum v'chanal b'siv cotton base. Okay, we'll explain this daled amas b'Reshus HaRabbim and more tomorrow. Please go.